every single time. I suck at doing that. Hey everybody, look at that! It's Tuesday. I have no hair. How you doing? Good, good man. So I'm like a thinner version of Dorf. Speaking of Dorf, he's going to be on the show tonight. We originally had Ish on the show, and unfortunately, he heard some bad news. So he was not able to make it. Ish is fine. He just heard some bad news about a friend, so he will not be able to make it. Dell also, some weird events happened. He won't be able to make it. So I brought on Dorf. Dorf is he's like the old reliable. I like. He's always on standby. He's always waiting by the messenger to see if I just contact him. And then we have the other cool guys, the other cool kids, other than Dan. So let's go here. We got, speaking of the guy, here we go. Look at that. There's Dorf.
Hey, I'm the fatter Caesar, apparently.
He is the fatter Caesar. And I'm okay with that moniker. Then we have this guy, more glasses. That's great.
Don't let him take anything away from you, Dorf. You're beautiful.
No, that's not true. And then we have Frank, Frank with the K, not with the C. And then we have the man of the hour, which I think this is his first time on the show this year. Look at this.
Pop that cherry. Let's go.
Yeah.
What's up?
I have to bring this out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's all right. We got Mr. Bartling,
You
which I
should've dropped-
finally. What?
Oh, I was gonna say you should have dropped that intro beat, man, when we introduced Aaron, man.
All right, that's kind of.
Just-
So I finally got to meet. Aaron. Finally, it was years in the making. We got to meet him in
years
person in
making,
MegaCon. He
Made
got
it-
off his fucking
made it
seat. This
happen.
fucker's he's like
Made it
6'9".
happen.
I mean, I'm not a small guy, but
Dude,
Aaron. Well, he got up that seat. And I just kept on looking up, like, "Oh, you asshole!"
Just kept going.
It just kept on going. It's like Godzilla coming out of the water, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here? That's not cool, man." And then, so Frank got to meet him, and it was good. But it was fantastic to actually finally get to hug.
Yeah, it was great.
Like my brother,
Great to
man. It was
officially
fun.
meet, man. That was awesome.
So we have a few things to talk about tonight. It's going to be one of those kind of shows. Well, Aaron's got some good news that he just announced a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to announce again. We're going to talk about a little bit. Obviously, the main thing is going to be Daredevil Reborn. We're finally going to talk about what our thoughts were. We're all caught up. We all watched. Frank, I was on his ass this whole weekend. You got to binge.
Dude, you
gotta
won't leave me alone, man.
I wouldn't leave him alone because I know you. Oh, wait a minute. What time's the show start? 9:15? That I was waiting for that. I gotta. Maybe I could watch it 3 times. The real fast. And it's like. So that being said, I also want to talk about the morality clause, right? Aaron dropped some stuff, so let's just get into this. Let's just get into this because this kind of bugs me a little when Aaron brought this up to me. So I'm going to share to you what Aaron. Let me see here. This is what Aaron. I don't know, Aaron. Would you say this kind of puts you on the?
Definitely one of his better known covers.
Would you say that this really puts you on the map?
Catalyst. That was the catalyst. Yeah, that was the thing that started it all. Because previous to that, I'd only done like 2 covers, I think, and this is like the 3rd published cover I ever did. So, yeah, and then that was boom. That was it, man. That was like that the same thing as musicians that have that one hit and then like their career is made. That was kind of like the same thing for me. So
yeah, except you're not a one-hit wonder. I mean,
well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
No. You're it's pretty good.
Funny, man. I submitted a few of these for some local guys. Again, before I knew you or your work or anything, though, they were sending me. I was like, man, I've never seen this before. This is pretty badass, man.
That's awesome.
For the guys that
Thanks,
actually
man.
read the series, man. I mean, this speaks. I mean, mountains right here in this one cover.
Awesome,
And
man.
as you guys know, I don't obviously, right? I don't read, but something about Aaron's art that kind of speaks to me. Believe it or not, I have 2 of his prints now, and I don't own any prints from any other artists, but I have two of his. It's just so clean. And Aaron's art, I mean, I'm not a turtle fan, but this cover would make me a turtle fan. That's how much it works. So we know this is what he does, right? So apparently, this property obviously doesn't belong to him, even though he put his mind to it. He came up with this amongst. Aaron, I'm assuming that it was a kind of collaborative.
I don't know if it's noteworthy. Sorry to interrupt, Caesar. He didn't just illustrate the cover. I believe you colored that cover too, right?
Yeah, I did the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask what's that process? So, I mean, how do you as an artist even land a commission like this? You know.
I mean, dude, it was like the perfect storm, man. Because I mean, like I said, I was super new. This is like the third published cover that I had done, and the retailer was gosh, I'm like blanking on the retailer right now, but I don't know how they got in contact with me, but they were like, hey, there's a new series coming out called The Last Ronin, and they said TMNT, and I hadn't done any TMNT work, and I was like, man, that sounds really cool, and they sent me kind of the premise of it. Sounded really cool, so I was like, yeah, you know, I'd love to do it. And then and then you just kind of do like some rough sketches, some general concepts, and then send it over, and then the editors kind of look it over and say like, okay, yeah, you can go with that one, and then they approve it. And then it's pretty straightforward. It's not a super crazy process, but yeah,
it's nuts, man. I always wonder if you know, as an artist, if you guys struggle, like whether this was your first draft, you know, if you had rough drafts, if you had other ideas and concepts before landing this, you know.
I think, you know, like honestly, man, like I think looking back, I think it was a good thing that I was so new to the industry and that I was so new to like just being an artist, because I've been working professionally now for 5 years, but at the time I was like super green with everything. And I think looking back, like if I would have known not only how big this cover would have been, but if I would have known how big the series was going to be, I'm glad that I went into it naive, because to be honest, I didn't have like a lot of pressure. It was more just like, oh, this is really cool, man. Like I get to work on a TMNT thing, but I didn't really know like that it was going to be like the thing, you know, that like everybody and their mom was going to love The Last Ronin, and they were going to make a video game from it and a movie and, you know, all this stuff. Like I had no idea. So I'm glad that I was just, like I said, so naive, and it took a lot of pressure, and it was just, I kind of just went into it and had fun and just kind of did my thing, you know. But Dan, I saw you wanted to say something.
Raise my
yeah, raise your hand.
Yeah, Aaron, I gotta ask, because you know how sometimes I say like in sports, like I think about baseball, and when the player connects with the ball, they just feel like it's going to be a home run. They just feel it. When you finished that, did you look at that and go, "Holy shit!" Like, no,
not at all. I had like, I thought it was cool, like, and I was happy with it, but I thought like, I think because I could do better. Yeah, no, well, I mean, you think that every artist thinks that about every piece. I don't think any artist is fully ever satisfied with anything they do. But I think when I heard that there was going to be like 75 variants. And because of that, even more so, I was like, oh man, like, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but like, I'm sure there's going to be like some big names that are going to be in on this, because the big, you know, the more I started hearing the grumblings, I was like, okay, this is going to be a big title. People are really going to be in on this. And like, I was like, oh, we get like Perillo or like Delato or, you know, some of these like big names getting in on it. I was like, I'm just going to get swept under the tide with like how, you know, like mine's not going to stand up. But so yeah, I mean, dude, it was crazy, man.
So how much different did it feel when all of a sudden, like, out of it, that's the book?
That's the one.
Look, I've seen a bunch of different of the variant covers. That's the one that everyone goes to. That's the one that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know,
out of
man.
that 75, you're the guy.
It's crazy. I think I will say the one thing that I think was the shift or the moment where like I thought maybe the magic could happen was because I had seen some variants drop for it, and all the other variants that I saw were more I guess action based, you know, or it was more focused on just like a cool pose, which isn't a bad thing, you know, like that can still sell, and I'm sure a lot of the other ones like the Kale News and stuff, like, you know, those did well, you know, but I think what I wanted to do is just like have a moment of just pure emotion, you know, and not really care so much about like making an image cool, but like how can it resonate with someone's heart, you know, and their soul, and like and reach deeper than just making like something that looks cool. And that's, to be honest, I've been kind of searching for that as these years have gone on. And it's become harder and harder. And even now with like some of the Marvel work that I've been doing, it's hard because when you're doing commercial art, a lot of the stuff that art directors want, they want very like straightforward stuff. So like the moment you start like pushing outside of the box, you know, or going out of the boundaries, they kind of like reel you back in and like maybe want you to just do something that's like, oh, like this is cool, but this is a safer bet, so we're just going to have you do the safer bet, you know, like, so it's kind of, that's what's kind of hard, you know, like it doesn't give you as much room to kind of like tell a story as much. And I think as much as making a cool image is great, you know, and like and it can impact people, I think being able to be a storyteller, which at the end of the day, if you're an illustrator, that should probably be like one of your number one goals, is because we are storytellers. And especially if you're a cover artist, that's what you do. You're only doing covers. So how can you do an image that is so story driven that like the person's never heard of the series, but they see it and they're like, whoa, that impacts me on a level that's so much deeper than just that's cool. Like
you're probably trying to tell a story in your illustration, and if it resonates with people who don't even read stories, that says something else. I won't name names, but some people don't read the story. Did you read the story?
No, so when Last Ronin was in its like very like early stages of getting released and stuff, it was released in terms of like reaching out to artists to do the covers for it. They were like super tight-lipped, because I even asked like multiple times, like, hey, I was like, who's the Last Ronin? Like, is there something that like I can kind of pinpoint each artist or pinpoint each turtle to be, you know, a specific look? Like I can make one look somewhat like Raph or Leo or whatever. But they were like, no, like you can't know anything. So literally the only information that I knew was, I'm sure you guys saw it, but the ash can that came out, that is literally the only type of content or media that I had to go off of. So the bubbles that had, you know, them saying like, hey, we're with you or whatever, kind of indicating that they were like spirits or that they were like a ghost form or something. I was like, okay, that was mostly the inspiration that I got to go with that ghost theme, because it seemed like the sense that they were trying to push was that these were like spirits following him and giving him like protection or guidance or whatever. So yeah, so really I really had like, it was just off the cuff, like I had nothing really to go off.
That's what makes this series so good. I mean, for guys who haven't read it, I mean, it's got it all. Like you said, it's got the emotional aspect, it's got a great story, the art is amazing, the action is awesome. I'm not huge into modern, but this was, you know, one of my favorite more modern reads. My last question, and it's a stupid one, but I always like to ask artists this question. But if you could add or change something on here, what would, looking at it now, what would you add or change?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny you ask that, man, because like when I look at it now, I mean, it is crazy to think that was 5 years ago, you know, and like I think from a skill set and like just abilities, like I've grown a ton since then. So I think if I was going to change anything about it, I'd probably change the background, just because I think it's maybe a little busier than than it needs to be. Like I feel like I could have like, and that was just like an understanding thing at the time, you know, like where I thought like, oh, everything had to be like super detailed and rendered out. And really like the focal point is the Ronin and the Ghost. So the background, like it doesn't really matter as much. So you can get away with, I think basically what I'm trying to say is I think I put way too much detail into it. So you like I could have backed off that detail and it actually would drive your eye even harder into them because then your eye is more focused on.
So what do you think? Like what do you think? Like a black background? I mean, what?
No,
what
like
what kind of background would you do?
I think still the city, but maybe like using like
the inside of a sewer.
More. I mean, actually, you know, it's funny. One of the original concepts was them in the sewer, but like the same concept of like him kneeling down and the ghosts, but it was a sewer, and then there was going to be a broken hole in the sewer, and the moonlight was going to be shining through, and that would be like the light shining on the river. Yeah. So that wasn't one of them. Yeah.
Considering where this conversation is going next, maybe in the background it should have just been a neon sign that said Bartley.
Yeah.
So they're like, now we know.
So that being said, so he, you know, Aaron gets paid to do this piece, and you know, the property belongs to other people, yada yada yada. But this is where the moral compass comes in, or does not come in. So what happens now is that people go out, companies, and let's just say in this case we're going to use Funko, and they made one of this. Now let me bring it on the big screen here. Hold on, there you go. Now, you tell me, did they take the inspiration from someone that we know that's happened to be on the podcast right at this very moment? Even Frank brought it up. He goes, does his art have the wispy stuff? I'm like, even the fucking wispy stuff.
We did a little bit of research, and we wanted to, you know, narrow it down and confirm that, because we were saying there are other, you know, translucent brothers on other covers, but they're wearing different clothes, different armor. So we were just like, hey, before we say this is it, from what
let's do our due diligence and like
this was it.
Because it's BS, and not that Aaron would be like, oh, where's my money? I think what would serve for someone like Aaron, who's always looking for opportunities, if the Funko box said art by or inspired by, you know, Aaron Bartley, or what, just something, a blurb. And people goes, damn, this is great. So who's this Aaron Bartley guy? Then they do a search, they find his other stuff, and boom, next thing you know, he gets more notoriety. But to just do it blatantly and not go, hey, hey, Aaron, we're going to drop your name on here just because, you know, that's a cool thing. But in order to do that, they're probably going to have to drop a little bit of cheddar to do that. And as we well know, some of the industry, they don't, not so much.
Is there any way that you can communicate with them to see if they can have a signed agreement?
I don't know. I know, man. I mean, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would work.
We'll rally together.
I know.
Aaron has enough friends to like everyone go, you know, with torches and pitchforks going to the headquarters, you know.
Yeah. And you had a similar cover with Splinter, like in that green, right? Like did you have a cover like that? I thought I saw it maybe on your Instagram or something. You had a drawing for like Splinter in the background.
That was number 5. Last round, number 5. Yeah, he was
so
like
if Funko comes out with an iridescent green fucking Splinter, last round, then you know that's bullshit.
So Aaron, let me ask you a question, because you mentioned statue. Is this the statue you're talking about?
Yeah, the PCS. Yeah.
That's the PCS statue, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and like, I mean, yeah, and you guys remember the whole, or like, there was a bunch of there was a whole firestorm that happened after this came out because I put out a post and then it kind of went like all crazy, and it was kind of like the retailer that I was working with at the time, he was like, "Hey, you should probably back off this a little bit, dude, because you're putting too much gas on this fire because now IDW is going to catch wind of it and they're going to be like, hey, like." It's just a bad look for our company. So they might pull out from wanting to work with me. And I think the thing that pissed me off and still pisses me off and just kind of it just irks me to death is that the art director that I got in like a debate with on social media, like he sent me a friend request and I was like friends with him for a very short time, but we went back and forth about it. And like, he was like really putting his foot down that they took no inspiration, that it would be a disservice or a discredit to his art team who came up with the idea. And I'm like, bull crap, man. Like, you're really going to sit here and say that like, oh yeah, we came up with this whole idea 100% of it. It's like, right, bro.
They're talking to you and they're lighting a cigarette. They're like, you see this fire, we invented this fire too.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice did not sample under pressure. Like, it's the same problem.
So I was just
Now, as an artist, do you have an agent who kind of goes to bat for you on things like these, or are you kind of representing yourself right now?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like especially at that time, because I was so new to the industry, I was like super naive to things and like didn't know really how things should work or like how I should go about things. I feel like I know a little bit more now how I should go about it, but to answer your question, like I don't have like an official manager, I guess the representation that I have, I guess, is just with Kirby's, because I sign on with Kirby's, so she's my art rep. But I don't know like how far she goes as far as like legality stuff, like and how much she would step in or intercept with that kind of stuff.
I guess you're gonna have
I appreciate you guys offering. Yeah,
I love your work. I was kind of going over it before this, just to kind of get a full idea of the body of the covers you do. I love the Black Panther cover. I think my favorite cover that I saw you do is the Take on Me homage cover.
Oh yeah,
that is shit. I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, those are fun to do, man. Those are. Yeah.
So Aaron, what's the next con you're hitting up?
Next con I'll be at Dallas Fan Expo. So next month.
When is that?
So
is it next month?
I think it's May 30th through like June 1st or 2nd.
See, that was not far from me.
Yeah, and I'll have I did a Absolute Batman that's gonna be dropping for that show. So
can we get a sneak peek tonight or
no?
What?
A sneak peek? Maybe I can give you a sneak peek.
They're gonna make a pop out of it anyways. Give us a sneak peek.
I know, right?
Damn, Frank.
Let's see.
You should go to
it's all love.
Yeah.
So let me show you. This is the piece that. Hold on here. Let me see here. Hold on. See if I could find it.
Absolute Batman's freaking hot right now.
Yeah, man. I was super excited to
have you done any Batman covers before?
Yeah.
This is I've done I think like 5 now, something like that. So I've been doing a lot more direct market.
So this is the one that I got from I just hung it up. I got a frame for it and everything. And when he posted this, I loved it. Then Aaron hit me up out of the blue. He goes, "Hey, by the way, I have some prints. I know you loved it. I have some prints left. Would you want one?" I said, "Do I want one? Son of a bitch. You know I want one. I'm in."
This piece is so beautiful. I want to
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
I'm tearing right here.
Did you color that too, Aaron?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you guys, the way it looks in my room, and it's 14 by 17. And thank you for the wrong size there, Aaron. Because I bought the wrong frame for it, you jackass. but it's 14 by 17, and it is just gorgeous. I mean,
Thank
it
you
is
for
just
the
gorgeous.
free piece of gorgeous art. How dare you lie to me about the size?
Hey, it wasn't
dare.
free. No, I paid the dude. You know, come on. You know,
Same
but
difference.
still,
What do you,
you know,
like?
it's
What do you
still-
like better? Do you like the music industry better or the comic book industry better?
As far as like working, like just
Maybe the whole
like artwork
whole
or-
thing. I don't want to look at one facet. I mean, money, how lucrative it is.
I love music, and I'm a huge music fan. I worked in the music industry for several years actually, but I was just doing like album art. I was doing T-shirts. I was doing logos. It's cool, but I will say the biggest downside to it is, well, at least in my case, I can't speak for everybody, but in my case, I worked specifically in the metal genre, and a lot of the people that I worked with were like, 21, 19, whatever, and they were like, they were touring around, they were like in a little bus or whatever, or like a little van, and they're like, oh, we don't have a lot of money to pour into album art, or logos, so if I was like, hey, it's going to be $1,000 for an album cover, they'd be like, oh, sorry, that money's got to go to our record, or our, or at merch or whatever it was, so that's when it was actually a big shift for me, because I was like, okay, I got to decide, like, I just had gotten married, and I was like, am I going to be able to do this long term, because I just didn't see the money being there, and like I'm sure bigger bands, bigger metal bands, like there's a band called Parkway Drive that's like a huge metalcore band, and like, they got millions of followers, and I'm sure they probably are millionaires. So they probably have the budget. So I'm not saying that all bands can't, but all the bands that I was working with usually were like smaller bands that were like up and coming or whatever. So they just didn't have the funds to be able to do, like more expensive pieces. So it just, that was kind of the reason for me why I shifted into getting into the comic stuff, because I was like, okay,
do you play any
lucrative.
musical instruments?
No, I don't.
I
wish
wish
I
you
could,
could play guitar. You'd be like the coolest fucking guy I've ever met.
Dude, I wish, man. Honestly, that'd be so cool. I wish.
If someone wanted to purchase your prints, I mean, I'm sure you have a website, right, where we can shop around.
Yeah. I don't have a store on my website currently.
Just hit them up.
But yeah, I mean, you can reach out. I have my contact information on my website. So so it's just aaronbarlingart.com. So you can go on there and
trying to get that plugged in, for everyone watching.
Okay, get this.
Yeah.
I want one of the prints.
This is one of the pieces that I also own.
Whoa.
This is my other favorite piece that I also have hanging. And this was Aaron's when McFarlane did his draw for the next cover, whatever, and everybody.
The Spawn challenge.
The Spawn challenge, and then they find out that AI won, and it became this big old thing. This is his rendition, and it's gorgeous, man. Aaron's that's why I'm so happy to have him on the show, and we've had him on the show years ago, but more as a friend, because I like to surrender myself by talent. And Aaron is, then I have Frank and the other guys, but Aaron.
You guys are legends too.
No, they're not. Don't give them heads. Stop doing that. So that being said, well, also, so a couple weeks ago,
he texts and calls me and DMs me to come to these shows. I get on the show and he berates me the whole time.
Yeah,
Well, because why? Because Dale's not here.
Fashion, right?
Dale's not here.
Yeah,
J-Rob's not on the show.
I'm the punching bag. I'm the runner-up. All right,
listen.
I can tell.
Okay, Dan gets his. Dorf knows, right? So
you're missing it, Frank. Caesar's just an asshole.
that I know. That I know.
That is so mean in front of my guests.
I lived with him for a few days, so.
You assholes. Okay, so Aaron just dropped some news. What was it, Aaron? Like last week or a couple weeks ago?
Well, officially, I said it. I think. See, this is how bad I am at social media, guys. I'm terrible. But with Instagram, I it was the first post I did on Instagram, but I had posted about it back in like I think December on Facebook. But officially on Instagram, that finally got Marvel approved in December. So yeah, so that was cool. So Marvel approved, and I started working with. Started working with Marvel Snap, the game, the PC and mobile game company. Well, Second Dinner is a developer, but their game is called Marvel Snap. And I signed a 6-month agreement with them, and so I'm doing about 20 illustrations. And then if they love my work, which they've seemed to all like everything I'm doing, then hopefully it'll continue, and maybe I can do a year's worth with them, and then who knows what's next.
I'm gonna put Aaron on the spot, man. My next exclusive, I'm gonna put you as one of the artists that I want done.
Let's go, man. Let's
don't reach out to him over IG though, because he just posted people for the first time in this year, so you gotta kind of like call him on the phone.
Yeah.
I think this is the one this is what you were talking about. And it's on eBay. Look at that. If you guys want to buy this on eBay, apparently there's $80 offer.
Yeah. Nice.
For the
there it is.
Yeah, look at that.
That's number 5. Yeah.
$80, anybody, or OBO.
So we know the last Ronin is not Splinter, so that's the spoiler.
Yeah, man. I mean, Aaron, I just got to tell you, I try to take the opportunity whenever we get to talk to these creators. I just want to thank you, dude. I mean, I know it's a grind some days, but you just bring so much joy in your work to so many friggin' people. I mean, I love your work, man. I'm telling you.
Thanks, man. No, that really means a lot, man. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I mean, no, it's cool hearing that, man, because it's like I'm not gonna lie, it's a competitive industry, and like sometimes I mean, just moment of transparency, and just openness. It's a tough industry because, especially for me, like the way I started, it was like, I started at the mountaintop because kind of like right out of the gate, I started with like a huge title, and it really catapulted me, and like what's hard to do is, like I was telling Caesar about this, is like, and this kind of goes back to the companies putting your name out there, and like, as an artist, like you're always trying to, like, how do you keep reinventing the wheel? How do you keep staying relevant? How do you keep staying in people's faces? How do you, I'm humble enough to say that in a lot of ways I've kind of fallen off, and I'm not the same artist that I was a few years ago, where like I was trending as much, like I don't get as much work as I used to, which sucks. Because there's a lot of new hot artists that are coming in. And a lot of people are like, it's always like the new hot thing. And at the time in 2020, when I did Last Ronin, that was me. I was like the new hot artist. So everyone was like trying to get after me. And I'm not trying to say this to be like a Debbie Downer, because like, thank God, like I have work, I'm able to support my family. I got Marvel approved, which is like, there's so many artists that would kill to do Marvel work, and I am, so, but it really means a lot, you saying that, because sometimes, like, at least I know I'm not the only one, but sometimes we get in our head, and it's like we how toxic social media can be. If you spend enough time on there, it's like you compare yourself and you see like, oh man, they got this opportunity and they're doing this and they're doing that, and like it's easy to like let the lies like sneak into your head of like, oh, people don't like you as much, or people don't care about your work as much, or whatever. So it's nice when you get like those words of encouragement, and those words of just love, because you're like, oh man, like that's what helps you keep going and like stay fired up, like keep, and I'm not saying that's all we should be relying on, but it definitely is a like fuel on the fire to keep going, because sometimes it just gets tough, because you're just like, man, it's always that grind, So it is a very competitive.
That's the word I always use to describe it, man. It really is a grind. You're doing it for the love. I mean, if you're I don't know, an accountant or something, I'm sure it's a different proposition when you go to work every day. But you have to be self-motivated. You got to be a self-starter. You got to really kind of hustle. You're kind of managing yourself. And like you said, sometimes that self-doubt can creep in, but don't, man. I mean, look at the dude. In your pinky fucking fingernail, you got more talent than I would ever have in my whole body. Like, it's unbelievable.
Thanks, man.
It-
No,
you know-
thank you, man.
I just spoke to a buddy of mine. I sent him a photo, of her podcast, and I was like, "Oh, we should get Aaron to do a cover for us." And he's like, "Oh, I think he's already doing a sick tick cover for me." So am I leaking something, or are you working on a sick tick cover now?
Well, can you say who the retailer is? Because I know who the retailer is.
I don't know, man. With all these contracts that go flying around, I don't know what I can or what I'm not.
Well, I can confirm that I am doing one right now, but I know the retailer's name, but no, I am. Maybe it is your buddy. I don't know.
Small world, man.
Yeah.
If you are doing one, Aaron, don't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I won't. I gotta tell you, it is very easy to get in your own head, like Billy says, get out of your own head, but it's easier said than done, right? It really is. And you're in an industry, as I like to call it, it's the "what have you done for me lately" industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the BBD, the bigger, better deal? What's
Yeah.
around the corner? And as Aaron said, I remember when I first met Aaron and started. That's all you heard. Aaron this and Aaron that and Aaron. Oh, did you see Aaron's Roning and Aaron did this, and then all of a sudden he was the cute chick at the high school, right? The new girl that walked into class, and all of a sudden now he sees himself as one of many hot chicks that came into class, right? And it's like
he's still the cute chick. Don't knock him down.
he's a cute.
Are you hitting on Aaron right now?
No. Well, now that I know that he's taller than me, no, because I could never date anyone taller than me. That doesn't work that way. This fucking 6'8" giant.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So we're on the top of the hour now. Let's get to it, man. Let's start to geek out a little bit.
We weren't geeking out.
No, it's just Aaron's.
Wait. Can I just say something real quick before we get started?
Yeah, go on. Of course.
Okay,
yes,
so we kind of like the conversation was fluid in the beginning. So, but originally I was like, okay, how can we start this conversation with like some type of cool icebreaker? And I was like, I got it. I was like on social media, and I was gonna post something about it today, but I was like, you know what? I'll save it for the podcast. But I was like, okay, what do you guys think? And I'm sure you guys have seen it trending. So maybe we can discuss, and I want to hear everyone's opinion. But the 100 men versus one gorilla.
I saw that.
Who wins? It's trending all over X. It's all over social media right now. Celebrities are talking about it. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who wins? 100 full-grown men versus one gorilla. Who wins?
100 men. 100 men.
No way.
No.
Okay.
Course,
well, can I say mine first? Can I say mine first?
All attacking at the same time.
So I think what's hard is we need to be. Well, I guess it wouldn't really matter on like strength because that's just a lot of bodies. So my opinion is, I do agree with Frank. I think the 100 men would win. Because you got to think, okay, the average male weighs about 200 pounds. A gorilla, I think, is like in the 400 to 600 range, which is that's a heavy animal for sure. But it's like, okay, you think, I'm not a math guy off the bat. So you take 100 men, and they're all roughly 200 pounds on top of a 400 to 600 pound animal. I mean, holding it down. What I think would happen is initially the first few people that were rushing the what? Started. The dude that looks like
fucking pause. He's calling you an Ewok. He's calling you an Ewok, Dorf.
I got it.
Okay.
Don't worry. He doesn't even know.
There it is. I think the first initial men would be annihilated because I've heard they rip your limbs from your body. So I think a lot of people would get wrecked right off the bat. But it is an animal, like it would get tired, just like a person would. And I think eventually it would wear down and it wouldn't be able to take every single guy.
You're right.
Look at that simulation. That simulation does not show the men at all trying to fight. It's like they're
trying to. Because dudes would be like bear hugging its legs and stuff. Like I don't think the animal would be able to resist for that.
The smarts outweigh muscle. I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't take a lot for them to be like, let's all rush and attack all at one time.
Time for another opinion.
Billy has a point, Aaron. You put too much thought into this shit.
I was thinking about it like half the day, dude. I was like, wait, let's see. So the first 20 would probably get their arms ripped off, but then the next 30 would probably.
No.
I'm gonna jump in. I definitely never thought about this until you just mentioned it. Yeah. Here's the thing, and about Frank saying, "Oh, but all 100 of them at once." It's literally everyone's problem with any action movie is why are they all waiting for someone else to attack? Yes, that's a problem. But in a situation like this, you can't have 100 guys attacking something at once. Because then no one is actually able to.
You attack like the agents.
It's just a massive body.
The agents.
Well, then they're not winning a fight. They're just sitting on top of a gorilla. They're not beating a gorilla.
Everybody has a plan. Do you remember what happened to Jon Snow, right? In the Battle of Bastards, right? And he's at the bottom of that pile. You suffocate, dude. You cannot breathe under all that, man.
Listen, I mean, I'm plan to see your boy's arm get ripped off, and you're
not getting.
I mean, Frank had 100 guys in the movie.
You're not getting 100 guys to get a gorilla down to then climb on top of each other on top of a gorilla. Like that's just not happening.
It depends on. I mean, what are we talking about here? Because what are we talking? I mean, is it fiction? Is it a real?
That's 20. That's 20,000 pounds of weight. 20,000 pounds, roughly. If it was,
I am answering this question as
20,000 pounds.
Basing it on U.S. averages, is probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
No, you guys are all looking. It should be 10 dwarfs on one gorilla. Who would win? 10 dwarfs.
I'm saying 20.
Now, again,
20 guys versus one dwarf.
If you said 50 men versus a gorilla, I'd be like, all right, gorilla all day, but 100, man, that's
the other part. There's another piece of this you didn't even let me get to. After the gorilla kills the first 15 to 20, what makes you think that a gorilla is staying there for the other 80 to come at it?
Yeah.
This gorilla will get away.
We're not thinking about this strategically. Like Aaron said, a couple of guys are getting their limbs ripped off. At that point, it becomes a slip and slide. There's nobody effectively fighting anymore. At this point, it's all cage match.
I wait a minute. I want to know who's the first guy that goes. All right, you go first.
We'll
follow you.
What if it's a hive mind, right? Like it's literally just a hive mind, and again, like the agent.
It's not truly grown human men.
Mind. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the ape is Neo, and then it's just 100 agents rushing him.
But that doesn't make it. You could also say, what if it's Gorilla Grodd and he fucking has some, mastermind?
But that's what I mean.
Plan.
There's so many different scenarios because you can. It's easy to strap them down, get them in a chokehold. The gorilla's dead after that.
But like Billy said,
I know it's not easy.
Most gorillas aren't trained in kung fu.
You're right, Billy.
Now, if you have a kung fu gorilla, the 100 men have no fucking choice. I mean, they have nothing. I once again, I just feel bad for the one guy. Goes, okay, well, let's all draw straws, and then all of a sudden, Johnny, we'll follow you, man. You go, and then we'll just rush right behind you. Next thing you know, the guy's torn in half.
I mean, a one-on-one fight, either with a gorilla or another man, it's not easy. But I know this sounds fucking insane. I'd much rather fight one gorilla than 100 men. Yeah, that's me.
Well, because you're going to get gassed. Just like what Aaron said, just like you said, he's going to get either way. Gassed? It's not going to. Listen, either way, it's not going to fucking happen. You're going to gas out if you're going to fight 100 men.
I'm thinking in my head, like, it's like one of those scenes where you just see the army and they're on the cliff and it's just a huge line. and then it's like, or you fight that one gorilla. I'm like,
you're going to last 10 seconds with the gorilla.
I'm gonna last 2 seconds either way. But I mean,
are you on?
I would be kicking
steroid and some low-grade beaver tranquilizers or some shit,
Oh, I would be kicking nuts. I would be kicking his nuts as hard as I'll be wearing steel-toe shoes.
I wasn't gonna say that, but that was gonna be my thought process.
So if you have 100 guys, guys kicking the same gorilla,
the gorillas, guys. This gorilla might not have nuts.
That's true. Okay,
That's
well,
true.
thanks you, Aaron. That was fun, Aaron. I appreciate that. It's good to know
Just
that now we know what Aaron thinks about. Now we know what Aaron thinks about when he's drawing.
The mind of an artist throughout the day.
Yeah.
Throughout
As he's drawing, he stops and he looks up. He goes, "I wonder who would win between a 100-man and a gorilla."
Who would win in this fight?
No matter who
Next up,
Hey, draw your next cover, just a gorilla.
Wait.
and then-
Yeah, it's just a gorilla with a
I have to ask you a
plethora
question.
of dudes.
Aaron, when these ridiculous questions pop into your head while you're in the middle of the drawing, do you ever accidentally start drawing something in your picture that's not supposed to be there? Like suddenly there's a gorilla.
But who knows? I mean, maybe
Pons has a point. What if Batman is Batman one of the men, and does he have prep time? Right.
Is anybody still watching this show? Like, is this
no, because we were doing so good, and then Aaron fucked it up. All right, so here we go. So now let's talk about some. We got some Daredevil. There we go. Some Daredevil Born Again, Reborn or whatever, Rebirth. I don't even know what it's called anymore. But okay. So let's go around the horn, and without saying anything, because this is inspired by Frank, who in the green room earlier. We're gonna go around the horn, and we're gonna give right away. Don't give any other opinion. 1 through 10, what your grade was. I will start. I gave it a 6. Dorf.
6.5.
Dan.
4.
Aaron.
I'd probably say maybe a 7.
And Frank.
I was at a 6.7. 6.7.
Okay.
And then,
all right.
You got to let us unpack this, though, Caesar.
Okay. We're gonna do this. The number one thing.
A 2-minute timer.
The number one thing that you didn't like about the show. The number one thing.
I think we can
all right.
agree on this one.
I will start. We'll just go around. And I did this with my wife. I looked over to her. I go, Daredevil is not daredeviling. Right? He's not daredeviling. He's not doing what he does. Right? Yeah. Because we got so used to what he did on Netflix, which he was pretty much of a badass. We didn't see that. We saw they should have just called Matt Murdock, Reborn or whatever it's called, because that's what we got. So that's my opinion. Dorf?
So, same line. Not enough Daredevil or Punisher.
Punisher. Okay, Dan.
That's my one.
I mean, I got too many things. I'm not going to lie.
I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but just the number one. The number one. The number
okay,
one.
well, okay, so it's called Born Again, right?
Born Again. Okay.
Okay. The assumption is that in some way, maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, they're basing it off of the Daredevil Born Again storyline in some loose ways. Maybe I'm wrong because it didn't feel that way. But I'm not even saying the Born Again story was that great, to be fair. I'm not going to shit on Frank Miller here, but I'm just saying, I've read better stories. But neither here nor there. We're tuning into Marvel shows, and we want friggin' action. And I just have so many questions, and I'm going to spoil the shit out of this. Why did they kill Foggy?
Hold on.
Wait. Did we give a spoiler alert for this?
No, come on. It's already been
No,
2 weeks, I think.
Well,
I got to get this out or I'm going to explode.
This show, you got to get.
Wait. I want to get to Aaron because I know apparently you have a lot of shit to shit out. So, Aaron, what do you got?
I'll hold it in for now.
Okay, I'll try to keep it brief, but I would say so. We're saying what we didn't like about it, correct?
The number one thing you did not like about it.
Okay, biggest thing I would say was
Andrew.
Exactly what he just said. Was that that's good too. What Andrew said. I feel like it wasn't enough action, and I feel like the show didn't really make it about Daredevil. I feel like when I'm really thinking about the show and like my takeaway of like what were the standout things, I feel like they made the show a lot about Fisk.
Right.
And like there was
That's
so
what I was
much
thinking.
about it was just Fisk, what he's doing as the mayor, what he's being involved with the shoreline business thing and his wife and what
Aaron,
she
put your
did.
cheek
And
up to the camera. I want to give you a kiss on it.
yeah. But it was like honestly, it was just all about Fisk, and it was just
Fucking
like,
right. I don't want to watch
okay,
Marriage
is
Council.
it? They should have just made the show called Fisk or something, instead of Daredevil, because it was like we got little glimpses and pieces of Daredevil, and it wasn't until I forgot who said it, but like near the end where it finally started heating up a little bit, and it was like, okay, hey, now this is getting like more action packed. Okay, he finally put the suit back on. He fought what's his name, Muse or whatever. He fought Muse, and like that was cool. And then when Frank finally came in, I think like I was telling my wife, I think like my favorite episode was literally, or the last two episodes. I was like, okay, finally we got some heavy hitter episodes. But it was like it took a lot of just slow burning and kind of like just filler episodes, like especially the ones with the White Tiger and stuff. Like I felt like that was such filler. Like that was just crap.
Dude,
Like
we didn't even get White Tiger in action. Like we got him in court.
No, yeah, we got
nothing. A cameo.
Was Matt Murdock born again? Where was he born again? Like where was he born again? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
He wasn't recovering from a beating till the end when he got shot in the last episode. He was in the hospital, and even then he snuck out. How the hell does
where we got ripped off was, I felt like also with Punisher, like we got him back in the show. He's crying. He's out of his mind. Like, okay, all right, fine. And then we get him back, and he talks a lot. I like Punisher to be a silent and give us 2 words at a time. That's all I want from you, bro. Just talk with your fists and guns. He did a lot of talking. I couldn't take him serious as I did with him on Netflix. It was just like Aaron was saying, we got way too much Kingpin. I like Kingpin in small doses. He just comes out, he's a badass. I get it, he's a mayor, but it's like when you get Fisk smiling and going to these kids musicals and shit, and it's the Marvel agenda where we got to push humor into shit like that's though it did start heating up towards the end. So the show was a great reintroductory, right, of some awesome characters. What I'm praying for is when we get them back in, I'm gonna say it, season 5. Someone said it the other day, this is Daredevil season 1. No, it's not. This is Daredevil season 4 now. So when we get Daredevil season 5,
Palms, Lebanese won't even get one.
What's that?
He says Lebanese, they don't even get one.
We don't even get one.
And then we get a cameo from like Miss Marvel's dad. Like we couldn't even get Miss Marvel. Not that anybody wanted her, but it's
I just all I want to say is, Aaron, why do you hate me? Okay. So let me ask you guys. What was out of the how many? It was 8 episodes, right? Out of the 8 episodes, what was your favorite episode?
The last one.
Last one for sure, hands down. Yeah.
No, I like the one where he broke the cop's wrist when he went to the apartment and he busted him up like they didn't see it coming. That's the Matt Murdock, like low key kicking ass. We didn't see enough of that.
I said it in the green room. The show made me anxious. Like there was way too much. There was Matt with his love life, grieving over his friend. There was Fisk being the mayor, Fisk with his wife, and all that bullshit. And there was so much White Tiger. I mean, there was just so much shit going on. It's like we didn't even need all that. Like just Fisk was the mayor.
And then the whole like side thing with Fisk, the people that work under him, it was like, I don't care about this random dude that's trying to climb the ranks to try to be like his right hand man. And it was like, who is this guy? I don't care about this guy. Like he means nothing to the show. So why are you guys trying to push like him rising in the ranks to be more, like intense or, I was just like, that was.
Well, can I,
you mean the little slip back
real quick? I mean, just again, it's only my opinion, and I'm stupid, so I don't know shit. But I'm just saying, like, having read the Born Again, you call it Born Again. I understand the need to update some material to make it relevant to a broader demographic nowadays, right? Like, The people that read Born Again back when it came out are different than the people that they're trying to attract now. I get that. But why call it Born Again then? Like, why? What was the benefit? Because you didn't do anything really from Born Again other than maybe there wasn't a lot of Daredevil in his costume. And same thing in the I mean, why did they kill Foggy? Where was Cap? Why did Punisher get captured by the police? Why did Daredevil take a bullet for Fisk?
Why were the police dressed as Punisher?
Yeah, I mean,
they never explained that, did they?
No, it's like
I think the only takeaway was like what Frank just said is that like, oh, you're our inspiration or whatever. It's like, all right, that's kind of a gimmick.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Join us. And like, are you fucking kidding me?
Is it me? Was it just me, or did I find his girlfriend extremely annoying?
She was hot, but annoying. Yeah,
she was annoying. Yeah, she was annoying.
She was annoying, right? I for some reason
I think Deborah Ann Wool would have been hotter than that lady. No offense.
I'm just ready for Matt to get with Karen already and just seal the deal. It's like just get with Karen already. I don't know. I like Karen, but
I liked her in True Blood. I don't see Matt and Karen
I find her annoying too. I also find
annoying.
Karen annoying.
She's very bland. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's like Rachel in the second Batman movie. I just don't like her. I don't. She's not good.
Where's Rachel? So this is the thing about the girlfriend that bugged me is that Daredevil came in and basically saved her ass, and yet she's like this. The mass vigilante. I just you're like you're an idiot. Muse could have totally had his way. Which, by the way, kicked the shit out of the Daredevil there for a while.
How did Daredevil not dismantle Muse? Like, Muse is some kid. Daredevil has fucking radar.
Yeah.
Like,
because Muse was a really good Taekwondo. He had a really good Taekwondo.
That's right.
They tried to cover that up with backstory.
He was a skinny little kid, man. I mean, that kid was annoying too.
It was weird. The more I think about this show, the more disjointed it felt. Right. Then they had which I liked the episode, the bank episode, right? But it felt like it was, because he actually got to do something. And I guess maybe that's why I liked it. But at the same time, it felt like it was thrown in there as what? It was kind of like, I don't.
Yeah, what I will say was cool. I liked how he was able to open the safe. It kind of showed us like how Matt Murdock has these superpowers, right? Where he can use these extrasensory abilities and things like that, which was cool.
Okay, wait, hold on. So Aaron's got a bone out of here. He's got to get. He wanted to say his 2 cents about. Yeah, he had to say his 2 cents about Daredevil.
I had to say my 2 cents about Daredevil.
And he had his 2 cents about that stuff. But listen, if you guys want to get any kind of prints, go to what is it? Aaron Bartley art?
Yeah, you could go to aaronbartlingart.com or honestly just social media like Facebook, Instagram, any of those work. So
yeah. And he has prints and he has stuff like that. And do you still have some of the Swamp Thing prints, or are you good? Are you
the only one I have left is my AP. That was a gift to me. So holding on to that one.
There you go. Well, then I consider myself very lucky. They all said that I was hitting on you. I don't like tall guys. You asshole. Listen, Aaron, as always, man. Next time we'll have you on. Once you get your Marvel Snap thing and all the announcements and all that stuff, let's come on. Let's blow that shit up.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be awesome, man. No, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's fun to hang out and chat. So,
man.
Yeah.
I'll catch you later.
Thanks, yeah. You guys have a good one, and you guys, I'm sure we'll set another one soon.
Sounds good, man.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night. See you.
All right. Good night, pal. See you. All right.
Take care.
All right. So the funny thing is, now that Aaron's gone, no. Hey, there's a couple of guys in here that just would love Joey, Palms. If you want to jump in, send me a DM and I'll bring you on.
Don't bring Palms on here.
Palms, if you want to jump in. Palms, if you want to jump in. Billy, send me a DM. I'll send you a thing and you can jump in. We can talk about this Daredevil because we're just getting started.
Before here's the here's the one thing I got to say this back to Dan, because where was the Born Again? Where was the Born Again? You're taking this comic that you were trying or the tying the name to. The Born Again was he stopped being Daredevil, which they had to explain that to us first. But then he was born again once again being Daredevil. That's where the Born Again was.
But just in retrospect, now having read the Born Again title and having seen this series, I went into this with no preconceived notions. I was just ready to be entertained, right? And I did get entertained. I'm not going to shit on the work, but in retrospect, I would have rather have seen the Marvel series stay closer to the original story. I think it would have been more entertaining for everybody. It was a better story than what they gave us in the series.
So Dan, I know this is probably a stupid question because I can see you're passionate about it, but is the Daredevil Born Again for the guys who read comics? Is it a good read then?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good read. It needed a little bit of work. The ending I wasn't really super on. It kind of like left things open a little bit, but the whole premise of it is that Karen Page in the beginning she's a junkie and she sells.
Are you going to spoil? Because I want to read it though.
But I mean,
it's only been on for 12 years or 10 years.
You know how many comics I have to read and catch up on? I'm still like in the 60s, man.
So here's what I will say. I'll leave it at this, Frank. The whole premise of the original story is that Fisk ruined Daredevil's life for a while. That's the premise. And I think it would have been a better series had they gone that route. Then why did Matt Murdock stay Fisk? I don't know.
I hit his funny, but he knows what I'm talking about. He knows what
Frank. You're hung up with the clown from the 60s, man. Oh, that's a good Seinfeld reference, people. You gotta no worries. Okay. I gotta tell you guys, you can spoil everything you want because that you're not gonna read shit, Frank. Come on, you got.
What's up, Billy?
Jesus, we got the big improved Billy. What's going on? You look like the good. There we go.
Look at the emotion in that scene.
The last Daredevil I read was Man Without Fear, and that was a great. I wish they would have done that story.
Oh my god!
Awesome. So I think Billy, real quick, and then I'll shut up, Billy. Everyone take over. So I think Caesar, you and I were specking on Daredevil a while ago, and I think we were all specking about that the storyline was supposed to take place during the Blip era, right? That they were going to go back, reintroduce everyone, and we thought it would have been a great concept, right? Where Fisk is in control of the city, shit is crazy. They got to get law and control back in, and that's when Kingpin becomes mayor, right? During that Blip era, right? When nobody can really oppose him because who the fuck is going to say no, right? No one's around, and then Daredevil's there, fighting. And anyway, so when I went into this show, again, I went super open-minded. I never read anything. So I was still under the impression that we were going to get a storyline that took place during the Blip. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, this isn't in the Blip. So anyways, that was my stupidity. So thanks again.
No, I mean, go ahead, Dorf. Sorry.
Where's Billy go?
I didn't say anything.
No, wait. Billy dropped out, and then I was going to add him back in, and he's not here. Great. Now that because
I will say that I like the idea of what Frank just said. Like, I want to see from the Blip. I want to see what happens like when a villain returned. Like we've seen the heroes who came back. I want to see something from that side.
So, you know what? That's a good point.
That would have been a great series. How like they did in the comic books. Civil War, where we get all these different stories during that crazy time, right? In the Civil War, storyline. Would have been dope if we got like a bunch of different, who was around during the Blip, right? When there was no law and order, right? Like shit is, crazy as hell during the Blip. I thought it would have been a pretty cool concept, especially New York, right? Like who was maintaining New York? I know we had a handful of heroes still left, but they can only monitor the Earth so much, So I thought it would have been pretty cool.
That's funny. Billy wants to join it, but it looks like it's. I don't see you, Billy. I don't see you for some reason. You might want to get out and try.
Last Ronin dropped 5 years ago, and I still won't let anyone spoil it. So I don't care when it drops. We haven't read it yet.
I think it's fair. I mean, I don't want to root a story that somebody can read and really enjoy, but I think again there was a lot of other options I could have went with. I agree with you. Man Without Fear is sick. That could have been a great series. That was awesome. You know,
that was the last Daredevil story I read. Yeah.
You know, you either create a show like Invincible where you stick pretty close to the source material and it's just amazing, or you can do something like maybe, and I'm bringing up recent stuff, like, or bring up like a Creature Commandos where, okay, it doesn't really stick so much to the source material, but it's compelling. But you took the title of a well-known Daredevil run and just changed everything, and didn't even make it that good. And that's my problem. Like I really hope Thunderbolts this week is good because I need something to kind of bring me back.
Did you see the animated Batman the Killing Joke that they it was not
for Thunderbolts. What keeps irking me, right? And I hate using that word irk, right? But I'm using it right now. They keep shooting out these best movie since Endgame, and I'm like,
uh-oh. You're already going in with an expectation, like this better be best movie since Endgame.
Because they said that about Guardians of the Galaxy. They said that, they said that about, any big MCU movie that's about to come out. It's like best movie since Endgame. And I'm like, can anything really be as good? And a lot of people didn't enjoy Endgame. There was, a lot of people didn't. Comic fans, I enjoyed it. I liked Infinity War better than Endgame, but the end of Endgame was really, really good. But
I agree with you, Frank.
Anyways, so I didn't enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and they kept saying best movie since Endgame. So gets me really worried. I don't know shit about Thunderbolts, so I can go into it super, super open-minded. I'm not hugely excited for it, but I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. See how some of those characters tie in together. I'm excited for Sentry.
How many of us prefer fat Kingpin instead of the more healthier Kingpin? Does it matter?
Both were. Okay.
I prefer the comic accurate fat Kingpin.
Because if you remember him from the very first season of Daredevil, when he first came out on Daredevil, he
was a big boy.
He was a big dude. He was a big dude, right? I mean, it was like, this guy looks like Kingpin, right? Especially when he was like smashing that guy's head in the car. Remember that, like, first time we got pretty violent. But him smashing the head of the
best scene on the show. I was like, holy shit, Disney Plus. Way to stay true for your fans to leave the foul language and that kind of kind of shit, right?
But but the more I think about it, Dan, the part where he walked in, the part where the cops went into the apartment, and he just kind of he kind of lost himself. We kind of wanted a little bit more of that, but I wasn't a big fan of the what one thing about Daredevil always bugged me is when he's telling Frank, "Don't kill him," and I'm like, and I get it, he does it every single time. That's what I think was the reason why we like the Punisher, because he doesn't give no shit. He tried to kill me, so I'm just gonna let him go. What am I gonna do? And that bugs me when he tells Frank, and he knows who Frank is. Don't kill him.
Right.
And Frank's like, "Oh, you mean this guy?" And he fucking shoots him in the head. It's like.
So do you guys feel that during this show, Matt Murdock exposed who he was a lot more than he did on the Netflix series, where he was a lot more secretive about his secret identity? I felt like he was like left and right, just letting people know he is not just some blind lawyer, right? I mean, he's beating cops' asses. He's in banks stopping terrorists. I mean,
that was my issue with the bank scene. The bank scene, the reason I had such a problem was, it was blatant. Like, how does everyone not see, what the hell did this blind man just do?
How did his girlfriend not see the lacerations and beatings this guy's getting when she's in the shower with him and not go, "Oh yeah, you just fell down the stairs. That's right."
No, they just met up right after he saves her from Muse when he's the most beat to shit. Like she saw him after, the previous fight when they first fought Muse and Matt Murdock, right? And then the second round when he got fucked up again. So it's like, okay, these are now new wounds. Like,
right. And
Yeah.
she's a doctor. I mean,
wow.
like
She's a head doctor.
It's like at some point, Daredevil just has to be like guys, I'm Daredevil. You know, Matt Murdock has.
You mean like Iron Man? Like when Iron Man said, "I'm Iron Man." Like when Tony Stark said, "I'm Iron Man," everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's Iron Man."
Like,
so what's the big deal?
Who are you trying to protect? Foggy's dead. You didn't, you know. It's like Carrie moved to San Francisco. He's got no family. I mean, yeah, he just met this girl. But it's like,
what do you think? A little bit of a letdown to go from She-Hulk to his new girlfriend. I mean, like, he was She-Hulk's sidekick.
Who's the better lawyer, right? I mean,
so let me ask you, what do you guys think of the use of Bullseye this season? Was it an afterthought?
I'll let you guys go because
do you think he was just used as an afterthought? He was not that badass. I mean,
again, I'm gonna lean to they have a plan of sorts because season 2 was already happening. Like we knew season 2 was coming when season 1 was being released. So I feel like the Bullseye being introduced the way that he was reintroduced, and that little bit of role that he was leading up to what will come next. So I'm fine with that as like a teaser to what's gonna come.
Dorf, I love you, man. I'm just so tired of everybody saying they'd have a plan. They had a plan at She-Hulk. They had a plan with Daredevil.
No one said they had a plan with She-Hulk. If you watched the last episode of She-Hulk, you know the plan was to not have.
They always have a plan. When are we going to see it? Like you're losing followers. You're losing people's engagement
to the rushed cameos, right? Rushed White Tiger, right? The rushed Bullseye.
You've got to forgive the White Tiger thing. Like the actor got horribly sick and died. Like you can't do reshoots. You can't you got to give a little bit of leeway there. That's not entirely their fault.
I mean, again,
it was okay. But the actor who we got and wanted to play this role. Hold on. What can you do here? The actor who got this role and we wanted to honor and whatever. Oh, he died, so let's cut him out completely. Or let's use what we can.
Let me start back over. Nobody needed White Tiger. Nobody was asking to start with.
But
so he's expendable. But we spent so much time on White Tiger.
But if you had cast him and you cast an actor to play him and that actor dies, you can't just say, well, he's dead and we can't do as much as we wanted to, so let's just cut him out completely. Like that's
so horribly disrespectful. But are we saying that we were going to get more White Tiger if he didn't pass?
There might have been.
His daughter. She's got the amulet now. She's going to be a young Avenger. That's the only reason he was around.
That's what I'm sold. But that's another thing, man. It's like, all right, what are we going to get? She-Devil now? Like, I mean, it's just everything going to go down this route where it's just we're going to. I mean, born again, Daredevil. Then I mean, it's like
born. Like, what do you want? All right, Bailey. Now that you're back, so what do you think? What were your thoughts on the show?
It was definitely slow. It was.
Well, what's your rating?
Drama.
1 to 10.
What's your rating? What's your 1 through 10?
Start to finish, I'd give it a 7. I thought it was good, but not crazy good.
So it's the weakest one, would you say, out of the whole series? Netflix
out of the whole Daredevil series? Yes, absolutely.
I thought season 3 was really.
Is that the one with the church? Is that the one?
Yeah, where he's at church and he really wasn't Daredevil the whole season.
I despise that season.
Yeah,
I hated that season.
Do you remember the scene of the Daredevil Netflix series where he's doing this massive fight in the hallway and he's just and they're fighting to exhaustion and but he went.
Oh God!
But Muse takes him to the edge of his abilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was rusty.
Another thing I forgot to bring this up, and this started in She-Hulk, and I get it, I understand it, but the use of CGI when it comes to Daredevil now, it feels and it's needed because Daredevil, has these powers, right? I mean, he's athletic and all this other bullshit, but I feel like when we see Daredevil more so than other superheroes, the CGI just looks so unnatural.
What CGI? I didn't see any CGI.
Oh, when he first came out, like when he first swings in, when we first see him, and he's doing all
Running
these
on the
acrobatic
rooftop.
movements, running on the rooftop. In She-Hulk, where he's like flipping and he's like bouncing off the walls and stuff. I was like, this didn't make sense. And I know I'm going backwards. This is where I'm born again. But in She-Hulk, when he's fighting and he's just literally spin kicking. He's just spin kicking. I'm like,
They definitely
Right.
nerfed him for this show.
they nerfed the fuck out of him. And then
So let me ask you. So the very last episode, when he's like, and she's like, "Yeah, you're right. We're gonna find our own army, right?" What's his plan?
The Defenders is what makes sense. Bringing back
So
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. All
So
those
are
guys.
you trying to tell me that in season, I guess it's technically will be season 2 since it's Disney Plus, season
5.
2, one. Well, I don't think they season at season 5 though, right? Does Disney Plus seasons at season 1?
They have Daredevil on Disney Plus, but when you watch Born Again, they mark it.
Well,
as
I
season
guess
1.
okay. So all right. So let's go season 5. You're trying to tell me, Billy, sitting there in your whole high mighty chair, smoking your sting, that they're gonna. Do you think they're gonna introduce the Defenders back into season 5?
Yeah.
We would hear about
There's
it.
already talks. The Jessica Jones actress was already in talks to resign. I'd say there's a fairly good shot that
I heard they
see
were
those.
recasting her and Iron Fist, the actor for Iron Fist. I heard they were.
Iron Fist, they
recasting.
definitely need to recast. I think Jessica Jones is a pretty good casting, though.
But I wonder how she's looking nowadays. Who knows? I mean, it's been a lot of time.
The same
She
gaunty,
looks the same.
strung out, emo chick. Is always.
That's my type, man. So.
But this is the thing about I just see this vision of everyone coming back, and then the guy who played Iron Fist is just looking in through the windows. He's peeking like that meme, it's just all sad because nobody.
It's not working. I can't. Guys, just go without me. It's not working.
I
Who
hated that
else could
shit.
they bring
Anyways,
back as an army, though? They're not going to bring Spider-Man into Daredevil.
well, no.
Highly unlikely. They couldn't
It's funny
afford
how
to.
Spider-Man,
It'd be too
he's not
expensive.
big enough for the Avengers, but he's bigger than the Defenders.
But this is what you guys get it all wrong. The army is the people. That's what he's talking about. The people of the city.
Again, what
That's
pissed me
his
off
army.
is that Matt Murdock decides to save Kingpin. I'm with Frank Castle on that one. Like, why the fuck, dude? And why didn't Bullseye go for Vanessa? Why did he go for Fist?
Yeah, why did he go for Fisk? Did he go for Vanessa?
He was supposed to. He should have. Vanessa set
She
him
was
up.
the one running everything from the shadows.
That bugged me.
Well, I think
This is
she
the-
initially got him out of prison under the guise that she was going to try to get him help and represent him and save him, and she ended up using him for a hitman, right? So he feels like he's been betrayed. He was put back in jail, so now he's going back to get her.
I just don't like
Did
the
they
fact that
say-
we all know that. Go ahead, Bill.
Go ahead. I was going to say, did they
No,
say who sent Bullseye? Was that ever talked about in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Vanessa.
her, Vanessa.
Was it
Yeah,
officially her?
remember she met him, had him sign the papers to release him.
Oh,
To
yeah,
release
yeah.
him. I have one job for you. Yada yada yada. The fact is that we know that Bullseye's a badass, and when he missed, he was kind of like shocked at himself, right? Like, what the fuck? I missed. You know
He
what I
didn't
mean?
miss. Daredevil just blocked it, but yeah.
If he would have went for the head, Daredevil wouldn't have blocked it because he's too
He
short.
should have gone for the head.
He should have gone for the. He
the
should have gone for the head.
I never
It's-
want to say when it comes to these movies it wasn't realistic because it's Marvel. I mean, it's not supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be fictional. So that aside, I agree. I agree with Frank 100,000 million%. Why in the world would he take a bullet for any of the Fisks? As he's trying to spend the whole time of the series understanding that he understands that the Kingpin is up to no good.
The only thing that I can come up with is that it's just his pure reflex to save somebody, that he hears his senses, right? He hears a gun about to go off, and the hero that he is has to save the victim.
He never explained why.
No.
He never did he?
Frank was screaming at him about it. But in my head, I was waiting for him to pull out the white tiger line. Right, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do.
I was waiting for Daredevil to say, "I'm blind. I'm not deaf, Frank. I heard you 25 times." You know what I mean?
My God. Why would you do that? Why would I don't want to hear Frank Castle talk anymore, bro. I don't want to hear. He's had enough lines, man.
So what are we thinking? So it's coming out. I'm a season 2. They're working on it now. So we're looking at what, 2026 now, or are they going to wrap it up and by the end of this year?
If we're lucky.
Oh God.
No, it'll come out in 2026.
Yeah, you won't see it next year.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We'll have Daredevil season 5.
What's everyone's thoughts on the Thunderbolts? Anyone excited for that?
I
tell you. I mean, I know Dorf is probably going day 1, and I know Dan's going. I'm going to drag the wife.
Really.
I'm gonna wait for your guys' review.
It's got positive early reviews.
Yeah,
I'm going to theaters. I'm not going to go the first week.
Right.
I'm going
for critics to give it such good reviews in the midst of the alleged Marvel fatigue, that is a little bit compelling. But we'll see. I agree with
saying it's.
Who said it earlier about?
I don't care for trailers in general. I think trailers generally don't give you a real sense. But the interaction of these characters with each other in some of the early trailers made me excited for what it could be.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
That's what I want to see, is if it actually meets what it looked like it could be. It wasn't one of these trailers where it tells you every single thing that's going to happen, whatever. It showed you these characters that you don't see interacting with each other, suddenly interacting each other, and how they do it. And I was like, that could be fun. And that's why I'm looking forward to it.
I'm only excited for Sentry. I can't say that Red Guardian does anything for me.
Did you see the Red Guardian commercials that they've done? Like him as a car salesman. Those things are really funny. I'm sorry.
They're funny, but it's not like enough for me to be like. And I know it's weird or how should I put this? I know I shouldn't associate the book with movie. Whatever. It's not like I'm like, oh, I need a first appearance of Red Guardian now. He's it's not one of those feelings. That you go and watch the Avengers. Like I'm watching Iron Man 1, and I'm like, dude, I want the TOS 39 now. It's like I want these books. Watching these
who
movies.
doesn't
see? But there's the problem in my eyes. You should want a TOS 39 because it's TOS 39, having nothing to do with that movie.
I've always wanted it, but I remember after watching Iron Man 1 and I'm seeing his old suit, and then you're looking at the cover, and I always read the facsimiles. I can't afford to read.
It's such a bad cover. TOS 39 is a horrible.
It's horrible, but it's the nostalgic feel behind it, right? Like then you want the Avengers #1 first team. You want those kind of things. There's just nothing in the Thunderbolts that's making me want to like go out and read Thunderbolts or have these first appearances, right? Like I'm gonna watch it. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I love the movies, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna go read Guardians of the Galaxy books now. It's like.
But that's the thing. I want the first appearances of the characters that I love, not because I love them from a movie or whatever. It's like the first Mephisto. We were talking about it earlier, me and Dan. I have a 7.0 in my possession right now. I don't really love Mephisto. I don't need
I'm really surprised he hasn't made an appearance in the MCU yet with the Darkhold and.
I'm totally okay to move on from that. But other first appearances, like I have the first Black Panther and I have the first Killmonger. Like I love those characters. It wasn't because of the movie. It was I wanted those characters. I wanted their first appearances. Like that's why.
Didn't they?
So Billy asked the question if we're excited about.
Sasha Baron?
That's what I thought. But I haven't seen anything about it. But you mentioned who's excited about Thunderbolt. How are we totally skating over the fact that this weekend is Free Comic Book Day, and it could be maybe the last one, maybe not. I don't know.
Why is that? What's the rumor about that? Why is that? Why are they saying that?
Well, because the name Free Comic Book Day and the logo and everything is owned by Diamond, right? Even though, there will be other events where Lunar and Penguin will offer books, but by the labeling of Free Comic Book Day, it could potentially be the final one.
So again, it's the final usage of free comic book day, but they'll
right.
reverbiage it, relogo it, it's not going away. It's not.
No. There will still probably be events.
It's the Black Friday for comic shops and collectibles and
wait.
things like that. So it's not like it's going anywhere. I mean, those are the best sales of the year for any shop. You know, so it's not going away.
No, they'll be riot in the streets, except for me because I don't give a fuck.
Riots in the streets.
Imagine all these geeks and nerds just rioting, just with these big fake manga swords and all that shit. So
what do you mean?
Oversized axes. So Billy, are you going first? So wait a minute, hold on. So when does Thunderbolts come out?
Thursday night.
Yeah,
Thursday night. You going first week?
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Okay, now I know Dorf is. Dan, you going also?
100%. Tickets bought.
Multiple showings.
Wow, you're that guy, huh? You're that guy.
Supposedly, the post-credit scene is the best one they've done and actually ties some stuff together.
You're supposed to be
Okay, hold on.
Morton said this before. He goes a second time because he catches things that he missed from the first. I think you told us this on the show before.
No, it's because of the popcorn. Oh, fucking 100% because of the popcorn.
I never denied the popcorn is a huge reason to go to the theater.
Oh my
The
God.
reason I see movies twice.
I told you I was caught up. I forgot. I still haven't even seen the new Captain America.
You didn't miss
The
a
new
whole lot.
Captain America. Oh, the Brave New World?
Brave New World.
You should.
I know, but that's the thing is that I feel like I know which movies to go to the theaters for and which ones, and the buzz that I keep getting about Brave New World is like, I'll just stream it, you know. And then Joker 2, don't even watch it, you know. So
No, I'm not gonna bother doing that.
Thunderbolts,
But,
I've been hearing about it.
Joker 2, you knew from everything about it that you didn't need to bother watching it.
I didn't like Joker 1, so I wasn't.
Me neither.
Oh, I didn't mind Joker 1.
Joker 1 was a
to me-
fine movie about a guy who had mental issues. It was not the Joker.
So let me
Period. It was not
ask,
a Joker.
because I always find out how many end credits is Thunderbolt supposed to have?
Isn't it 2?
I believe it's
I've
2.
only heard of one, but who knows?
Okay.
I'm gonna wait for the community to speak out about this. Again, it's not. How do I put it? Thunderbolts to me just isn't mainstream enough for me to freaking go and watch it. Opening night, maybe a week later. I don't mind. Wait.
I might go because I'm not going to go this weekend, so I'll probably go next week during the week. I'll make it a date night. Throw my wife a bone, and
I'm gonna make it a.
No one wants to hear about the bone you're throwing your wife.
You son of a bitch! My bone throwing skills are fine. All right.
He's like, the only way I can get it up is going to these comic book movies these days.
Keep my bone out of your mouth, you son of a bitch. So I'll tell you what.
Not coming anywhere near your mouth.
I admit, I'm kind of excited for Thunderbolts, but it is kind of funny that it's a movie that nobody asked for at all. Nobody ever said, you know what would be really cool if we had a Thunderbolts movie? Because if there really was an actual, we would see Baron Zemo, we would have these people. I mean, the actual Thunderbolts that we know in the comic books. I get the Taskmaster, the Ghost. You know, it's like
I have a feeling,
Guardian,
and I don't know shit, but I have a feeling, and it could be a spoiler, but the end credit scenes have to do something with Doom and Fantastic Four, Doomsday or Fantastic Four. I need one of those end credit scenes.
It has. Let's be honest. It has to be. If it's something stupid like them eating fucking shawarma,
make Doom's first appearance in a post-credit scene
on Thunderbolts.
I can't see that being.
I don't either.
Thunderbolts. That's just.
I don't see it either. No. Billy, you have a point. This Doom becomes its own, and it has become its own entity. For it to be presented at the end of Thunderbolts? No, that's going to be presented at the end of Fantastic Four. That's when you're going to start to see the Doom stuff, not Thunderbolts.
I need a good end credit scene. I need something that's going to be like, all right, I'm ready for it.
So I think they're going to introduce Battle World.
Battle World?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're insane.
If this phase is and these coming movies are going to end up the multiverse saga with like Secret Wars, they've got to bring in Battleworld. They've got some point.
You're crazy. You have to understand that they make these movies for the average Joe who don't watch or read comic books. I'm sorry, they just don't.
But you understand where this whole thing is going, right? Like you have the Fantastic Four movie coming out; they're in a different timeline.
Yeah.
You have these Thunderbolts. At some point, you're going to start bringing these guys into the same place, so they're going to have a Secret Wars. I mean, that's what's going to have to happen here.
They would have to dumb it down so much that not every person in the movie theater is going, hey, what the hell is that? What the hell? And then they're going to start searching.
The most of things is the multiverse saga. I mean, I think everybody understands that that's what's going on.
What if we get like an X-Men trailer or something, end credit scene where we start getting some mutants?
I tell you what, it's going to be them eating shawarma again.
Stop knocking on the shawarma scene. The shawarma scene was great.
I'm just saying. I get what Frank's saying. Frank's saying let the end credits be something of substance and not be them eating shawarma again.
Yes, I need it.
Something funny, something stupid, the dog running off with a cape or some stupid shit like that. And you're like, that's what I waited.
Let it be Fury in the living room saying, I'm putting together a team.
I'm okay with that. Yes, something of substance, right?
I want to see the mutant mansion and the doors just open up and everyone's there, like welcoming fucking Wolverine into the mansion. He's crying because he's like, oh, everyone that died in my timeline, they're all here now, welcoming me.
They're all CGI'd. You said they're all CGI'd from the X-Men that he remembers, right?
Whatever. Just it could be something so simple like that. Just the doors opening up and all the mutants are there.
So this is the question that I have for you guys. What are you more excited for, Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four?
Thunderbolts.
Fantastic Four.
Ooh,
Thunderbolts.
Wow, that's funny. Well, the two nerds said Thunderbolts, and the other people who are actually of logical minds said Fantastic Four.
When it comes to the greater effect on the Marvel Universe,
hold on.
When it comes to the greater effect on the Marvel Universe, yes, Fantastic Four is going to. But the movie, from what I've seen, that I think is going to be more enjoyable and I'm going to have fun at the theater, it's Thunderbolts right now.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're thinking too, Dan?
Yeah, I agree with Dorf. I think, again, I don't know that they're giving away a lot of things. I mean, yeah, we know the Sentries and Thunderbolts. We know who the cast of characters is going to be. I feel like the trailers that are dropping for Fantastic Four are giving a lot of shit away, like Silver Surfer, Galactus. I guess you're going to get that, but now Sue's pregnant. We know that now. Like, why are you giving us everything now? So, am I going to see Fantastic Four when it drops? 100%. In terms of anticipation, I'm getting more of in the trailers of Fantastic Four, and it's taken away from my anticipation. Thunderbolts, I'm very genuinely curious about what they're going to do with it. Like, what is the plans here?
See, I only saw the first teaser for Fantastic Four, and I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen anything new since the first teaser.
So you've just seen them standing on a stage.
The last thing I saw was the back of Galactus's head, and that's where I left it. I'm like, that's
they didn't show. Just for the record, they didn't show anything other than a big boot. That's it.
I want to go into Fantastic Four so fresh. Again, I feel like FF. I mean, we needed Fantastic Four. I mean, I don't know how we defeated Thanos without Reed Richards, but that's neither here nor there. We're moved on already, but. I think Fantastic Four and the X-Men are what's going to save the MCU since Endgame. Those are going to be the big game changers. The Doctor Dooms of the world. These characters that we have wanted, that we need, we're finally going to get them in the MCU. I'm just not getting that personally from the Thunderbolts. I just feel like the Thunderbolts are a one-hit wonder. Like they're going to be exciting. It's going to be a good movie, but they're not a game changer. Like John Walker.
You're looking at it in this mindset of this has to save the MCU, whereas
it has to.
I don't think I don't think the MCU is dying. I don't think everything is coming out with the.
Everything is just so woke. It's just I can't get behind everything being female or black right now. It's just and then we get Hispanic superhero and he's dead. He's already dead, man. Every time we get something Hispanic related, they're
I'm
gone.
just saying, as a Lebanese guy, we don't get shit. So
I didn't even know Lebanese was a thing.
You got
until
shawarma.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
It's okay, Dan. The Israeli superhero that we got is this tall. She beat the shit out of a lot of people, but she's this tall.
It was the shawarma.
It was the shawarma. I gotta say, listen, Fantastic Four. That's gonna be the movie of the year because everyone's so looking forward to it. I'm just afraid.
You think that one's gonna be the movie of the year over Superman Legacy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous about I'm really nervous about Superman. I'm really nervous about it.
Let me tell you why, Dan. Because
I'm nervous for Fantastic Four also. I mean, again, they made Silver Surfer.
That is true. I am kind of nervous on a whole because if Legacy falls apart, James Gunn has a major uphill battle.
Oh,
if if the Fantastic Four falls apart, something else will come around and stuff like that. Right now, the Superman for DC there's more on the table for that than there is for Fantastic Four. If FF's not going to fall flat. A lot of pressure. FF might be like, it was all right. Right? And then there'll be another Marvel movie coming out. But DC, if that falls apart, everyone's going to say, see, there hasn't been a good, decent DC movie since X. Why can't they do the movies like the TV shows? Why? See, I knew this was going to happen. James Gunn isn't the savior. There's so much resting on legacy that I don't know. I want it to succeed.
From the trailers, there's so much going on. I mean, for us comic book guys, it's going to be awesome. I'm wondering if it's going to be confusing to the everyday person who are like, who the fuck is this guy, man? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, but it is gonna be. Now let's take the alternative, and that's gonna be fun for us to find out, right? I mean,
I'm going into it super open-mindedly. I'm excited for Superman. I was like, don't get me wrong here. I'm really excited for Superman to come out. I've been waiting for DC to get a reboot. I think I'm in that very small bracket. I enjoyed Batman with Robert Pattinson. I enjoyed it. I mean, that's
I enjoyed it.
Bag,
I dug
not a lot of people did. I like that rendition, the dark, ominous version, the more natural, humanoid Batman.
I dug Batman. I know Dan and Dorf didn't, and I don't know about Billy. Did you like the Batman?
I don't need emo Batman. That did nothing for me.
Did you like Batman, Billy? You didn't mind it.
Middle of the road, yeah. All right.
Was it better than Christopher Nolan's Batman?
No, of course not. No.
Batman Begins and Dark Knight were amazing. Dark Knight Rises was
borderline. I wasn't a huge fan of Begins. But Batman Begins was a nice intro. It wasn't my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. Dark Knight still to this day is my favorite comic book movie of all time. Probably.
Which one?
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight. No, well, Rises is good too. I like Rises.
No, Rises.
No, you know what? I wasn't a Rise was okay. It was
I think
like
that was the best voice you've done, Caesar.
So how I determine these movies are like those movies that I don't mind watching to go to sleep to. Like I can put on Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight. I can't put on. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff with Batman Begins that I just overall it was like okay. It wasn't the best for me. I thought Rachel was like whatever. Batman wasn't put together quite yet. I mean, there was
but that scene where he's like, it's not what's under the mask, but what I do that defines me. And Rachel's like, Bruce, and you're like it was so good.
Because he's such an idiot. Let me quote something that I've only said to one person that I know.
I think he did it on purpose. He was letting her know.
Well, yeah.
I didn't find Scarecrow to be a villain. Like, he didn't really do much. The end scene was dope, right, where the city was like, going crazy and stuff. That was awesome. But I felt like it took.
What'd you say, Billy?
I thought it was the worst part of that movie. The whole third scene there, it was just so over the top CGI. It totally tone shifted that entire film.
When they're seeing like the fire coming out of Scarecrow and
exploding and flooding Gotham, it felt so disconnected from the rest of the movie.
Oh, you talk about? Hold on, we're talking about two different movies. You're talking about the Pattinson movie.
The Batman Begins.
Oh, Batman Begins. Right? Because they broke off the. Yeah, that's right. Because they broke the bridge and it was on its own, and everyone's seen bats flying and all that shit.
Well, I liked it because I felt like that's when we finally got Batman. Like, okay, now we got Batman. I mean, throughout the whole movie, we didn't have Batman.
Well, listen, it's gonna be very fun. Like I said, we're a bunch of adult geeks here. Contemplating which movie we're going to go watch. Is it going to bomb? Or we are very gifted and we are very spoiled to have this option in this day and age as kids growing up watching Super Friends and the Legion of Doom and all that stuff. All of a sudden we're like, I don't know, I may go watch it, may not, and it's we have that option. And if we were told as kids, one day there are going to be so many superhero movies that you're going to contemplate going to the theaters or not. You'll be like, fuck that. That's crazy. I'll be going every single day to the movies to go see this. And then you get older. You're like, I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for it to get streamed. I'll wait for it to be on Tubi. So it
doesn't take long. I feel like it's like 2 months after the movies are in theaters. It's like
it is very true. I just found
out
out
like a year for it to come out on VHS. Remember? I mean, it took forever.
I just found out because I saw The Accountant a long time ago. Right, the first one. I love The Accountant. That was a good movie. Ben Affleck is The Accountant, and it came out the second one, right? And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. Now I found out I could watch it. I'm like, what the hell is that? That didn't last very long in the theaters.
Caesar, it's really good. I actually liked it more than the first.
Oh, really? Good, because
really
I really enjoyed Ben Affleck as The Accountant, right?
Yeah,
but
very well done.
This is interesting, people. Wow, that was weird.
That was very.
It just started.
Was that your fault?
That's my
because my alarm just went off too. And I'm like, that's not
also The Walking Dead.
No, it's a Mandalorian, but it went off the same time. I was like, change my fucking
Walking Dead because it's 11 o'clock and I have to walk back to my office to do all my testing. So I'm like The Walking Dead.
All right, guys. So let's do this. We're gonna. It's about that time to go around introduce. So this is very rare. We only had 2 topics: Aaron and Daredevil, and we filled 2 hours of it. Speaking of Aaron, I want to thank that guy for jumping on, sharing his good news with signing on with Marvel and with Marvel Snap.
Dude, that's huge, man. It's like Jack Kirby, Aaron Bartling, right.
Yeah, if everyone was here, you would fucking laugh. I guarantee you that. And you all know his work. If you want to buy some of his stuff, go to Aaron. Go look. Just Google him, as Ryan Kincaid would say. Google me, bitch. And you could find his stuff and go buy stuff. I got lucky enough to own one of his properties, so it's really cool. Next week we have next week's the first show of the month, so we have the murder mystery the comic menu murder mystery with Shannon Kincaid and Dale, myself, and I'm hoping to bring a special guest. I'm waiting for him to say yes, who has some insight on the criminal mind. And as a matter of fact, Frank, you and Dan know him. So other than that, we're going to go around and let's say it other than Billy. Actually, Billy, Billy, you have a restaurant you could fucking plug.
I got nothing to promote, man. Like always, you're in Nashville.
He's got nothing.
I got nothing. If you're ever in Nashville, more than happy to host you guys at my restaurant.
There you go.
Whatever the case may be. I'm just a leech on Caesar's fame here.
That is true.
Yeah.
He has a leash on my fame. Thank you. The fact that you use my name and the word fame in the same sentence fucking means a lot to me. All right, let's go with Dorf. Dorf has some news. What's going on, Dorf?
So my news is I just got a huge key collection in, and it's all posted on my Facebook page. So check it out. Burger on Facebook. You find me, you will find a huge post with a bunch of keys that are available, and I also can help you find things that I don't have. So if you're looking for anything, hit me up. I'm happy to help. And I'm all over Facebook. So yeah. And thanks for having me, of course, Caesar.
Of course, man. Of course, pal. You're always a good old reliable Dorf. What do you got there, Dan? Hello, Dan. Wow. For all night, this is a time for you to fucking, man, what a douche. Okay, let's move on from Dan. How about you, Frank?
Oh my God, what a night, man! What a night. It feels weird being on here without Ish.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to become the punching bag, which I'm okay with. I'm okay.
I know.
So I'm Frank with Atlas Comics. You can find me on Instagram at Atlas Comics. We do cleaning, pressing, submitting services, hosting services, consignment, one-stop shop, baby. Big news. Well, next month, May 18th to the 26th, we'll be in New York doing our North tour. So that's always a good time. Definitely tune in for that week, every night, nightly live sales. If you guys are local to New York, you guys want to hang out, have a drink, I will not be available, but you can always hit me up. Thanks for having me, Caesar.
Yeah, man. It's always fun to have you guys on. Now here he is, not frozen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but if you don't find me here, again, I love these guys. If you don't find me here on the comic menu, and Caesar, I really appreciate you always bringing me in. I love chatting. I love this podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Tree City Comics. Every week, Wednesday, new comic book day, I'm posting my reviews of the books I'm reading. You'll also this week, among my other posts, you'll probably get a post, no spoilers, about Thunderbolt. I plan on seeing that. And please reach out, connect, follow me. I'd love to chat with you about our hobby in general.
It's always fun to have these gentlemen. I look at myself with no hair, and I don't know. I think I'm all right with it. I think I've come to terms with my age.
It's a good look for you, Caesar.
You look
Thank
good.
you. Oh,
I was gonna say I've never seen my left testicle look so good before.
Okay.
He's read as many books as he has hair.
You know what, assholes? I
tell you what. I actually didn't say anything mean.
No, first, who's the one that says it actually looks pretty good? Was that you, Dorf? Or was that Dan?
I didn't say anything nice either. I just didn't say anything mean.
All right. Well, listen. You know where to catch me on the Instagrams. It's like I said. I slowly been leaking these reels. Work is taking up my time. Still working on my figures and those reels that I'm doing. People are hitting me up to do. Recently, I've been making a couple reels for people who have big announcements of books they've received. It's exciting. You live vicariously through them. We have a buddy who just recently got a 0.5 Fantastic Four #1.
That was awesome.
That was great, man. He's looking to get a 1 through 50, I think 1 through 10, and he already has a #1. As he says, low grade is better than no grade. And then we have another buddy who got a X-Men 1 at a 6.5. So that's fantastic. Like I always say, when people win, we all win. Let's be honest. When someone drops down a major unveiling of a grail, we live vicariously, and it's a big win for everybody. So once again, if you want voiceovers, if you want Bane, you could go that's perfectly fine. I could do Bane if you want. So other than that, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll see you next week. And yeah, man,